Hello and welcome to Thursday. I still feel like I look grotesque on camera. I really need to look at white balancing at some point in time. It doesn't help having the blood in the eye. Bah! I guess no one looks. I guess no one likes looking at themselves on camera, and it's difficult to evaluate that objectively. How is your week going? My week is feeling a lot better today, and here's why principally. I hit on this when I was doing the development for the 2 week prototype, where I would run into a chase mentality of just trying to get forward as fast as possible. And it comes from, in part, the fact that I love the work that I'm doing, and it also comes from a feeling of obligation, because this project is it's a blessing. And with that comes, I feel like an onus to really do well with it, but at the same time, it's always difficult to balance how much is a reasonable workload versus the world's a place right now. And I realized that over the last couple of weeks, with the sound design side of things, there's been a real pressure to just run forwards to try and get a result. And I got a result that I was happy with both boosting the sound effects and also reverb. Last night I found a reverb package called Valhalla, a plugin that I'm probably going to pick up because it does the job. It's super easy. I just add it to the audio and I get a result that I'm looking for. Similarly, after upgrading my copy of Nectar to Nectar 3, I was really happy that I did it because I found just a whole host of things that I'm going to sit down and play with at some point in time. Over the last few months, I've upgraded a few of the pieces of software that I use for audio processing, and each one of them has brought with it some significant functionality each time. I've upgraded Isotope, RX7, which I use. I've been using that for years, especially when I work with other folks. But I find for myself, the declicking is a really useful tool. There's a mouth declick in RX7 Advanced, which is just super precise in terms of what it does. It's so good. But I find if I'm working with other people, a lot of the time I need to use debriefing to get rid of unnecessary, well, not unnecessary, but breath that I don't want in the final performance. So that's all bearing fruit. How did we go down this particular path? Because I've got an answer for each of the things that I was looking at. The vocals are sounding nice and fat now. The sound effects are quite big. I'm feeling like I'm losing that stress, that feeling of having to catch up. And so I've still got a week on doing mixing for location next week. So what I'm doing today is kind of a catch up. I'm going to go back over the great advice I've been given so far. I'm going to revisit all of that and just sit and read with more of a feeling of peace and being able to take in that information as opposed to looking for the simple sound bites that are going to get me to where I need to go. So I'm looking forward to that. I've spent some time this morning also working on an audition. I've mentioned before that I'm not actively looking for work at the moment because I've built into this project basically accounting for my typical like voiceover income, and so that I don't go and do that work because I don't want my attention divided. But there have been a few things that have come across my desk where I'm just like, well, not only has this opportunity come to me, but I can't say no to this. And North Star Rising is a great example of that. The caliber of people I'm working with there is incredible. And I've got another one of those. So I've already spent some time on that this morning. It's actually been an early start to the day today. And I'm just recording this video later in the day because I just wanted to manage some logistics first and get some things in place. So yeah, getting that out of the way this afternoon. I've got to catch up with someone at 1 p.m. around that. I've got a 2 p.m. consult with an awesome local sound designer and composer, which I'm super excited for, especially given that one of her big pensions is horror. So good. So good. Other than that, let's see. I've actually put notes together because there's been a couple of things I've been meaning to mention for days and I keep forgetting. I'm only mentioning the obvious stuff, and so I'm trying to get better about that. The other thing that I've been doing over the last few days is I've been getting back into reading Art of Game Design, and that's been, because it's kind of ticking off one of the things that should be happening off the list. That's been making me feel a lot better, and I'm going to continue to plow through the rest of that and get that closed out. Because I need to start reading Verbalize soon, and looking at dialogue. So yeah, so you go. So that's today. Shortest number of words possible. I'm catching up on things. I'm typing up the loose notes that I've got at the moment so that I can put them in the done category, because the amount of mental bandwidth that opens is always huge. I'm working on the audition. I've got a consult this afternoon, and I'm just planning out what I'm going to be doing next week, just to bring this mixing stuff to the next level, because I've still got next week to focus on this as well, and I'm really looking forward to that. So that's me. There was something else I was going to mention, and it's circling around my brain, but it's evading me right now. It'll come to me at some point in time. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to closing that stuff out, and then moving on to the next level of things. Oh, that's the other thing I was going to mention, yeah. I think it's a really good timing, especially for doing this today, because tomorrow I'll be managing homeschooling and looking after my daughter, because my partner's going into work. She's been furloughed. We just lost our monitor. No, our light levels. Monitor behind me just went to standby. Yeah, she's been stood down from work, although now we lost both lights. All right, time's a thing, so I'm not gonna redo this video. So we're gonna have to live with the last part of it being in darkness. Yeah, so I'll be working again on Sunday. But yeah, my partner's just going into work to close some stuff out there. So yeah. So why is that important? Because it means that while I'm with my daughter, it means all of the stuff that I'm thinking about and passionate about can just churn over in the back of my head. It's a switch from that mentality of got to do the thing, got to get stuff out, to just being able to dream and go, what would be cool if? Wouldn't it be great if? And just, note that stuff down. Yeah. I hope your week is being kind to you. I hope that you are headed into a restful weekend where you're able to just take some time to recharge. I will be back. I won't be back tomorrow. I will be back on Monday next week. So it's a good thing that I said that, yeah. So have a wonderful weekend. I'll be back on Monday with another morning stand-up. And I hope that the time in between is kind to you. See you soon.